Welcome to Whisperer of Madness. If you're enjoying the story, consider liking the video and subscribing. It really helps grow the channel and this community. The 5 Elements Generating and Overcoming Technique. Ningxiu sat cross-legged on a cushion, holding the 5 Elements ruler. He infused his 5 Elements mana into this magic artifact. Array patterns glowed around the 5 Elements ruler, releasing 5 strands of elemental mana: white for metal, green for wood, black for water, red for fire, and yellow for earth. The 5 strands of elemental mana circled around Ningxiu, swirling up and down like a dragon. Metal generates water, water generates wood. Following the relationship of the 5 elements generating, the elemental mana ultimately transformed and merged into the yellow-brown earth element mana. Light gleamed in Ningxiu's eyes as the earth element mana divided into 2 parts. He kept 20% as earth element mana, while the remaining 80% transformed into metal element mana through earth-generating metal. The metal element mana split into 2 parts. He kept 1 part as metal element mana, while the other part transformed into black water element mana through metal-generating water. Water transformed into wood, and wood transformed into fire. In the end, 5 strands of elemental mana still surrounded Ningxiu. However, compared to before, these 5 strands of mana had significantly diminished. Although the 5 elements generate, considerable loss occurred during each transformation. Ningxiu had practiced this thousands of times. Initially, he had stumbled through this practice, taking a long time. But now, his entire conversion process was extremely smooth, shortening the time to even less than 1/10 of what it had been initially. After practicing generation, Ningxiu started practicing overcoming. He let the 5 strands of elemental mana counter each other. For a time, the 5-colored radiance illuminated his face, as the 5 strands of elemental mana intertwined like snakes and dragons, fighting and constantly transforming. The numerous complex changes were incredibly dazzling, making one dizzy. With the 5 elements overcoming technique, I can suppress any kind of mechanism artifact as long as it uses a mix of the 5 elements or a single element mana. Ningxiu thought again of the demon-infused bloodline technique and the mirror stand spirit communication technique. The 3 ancestral masters designed these 3 cultivation techniques to strictly control mechanism artifacts in terms of divine sense, mana, and blood ban. The Buddha Heart Demon Seal and the Divine Power Life Thread are even higher standards of control methods. The 3 ancestral masters seemed very afraid of mechanism artifacts going out of control. The 3 cultivation techniques they designed and various spells were all to enhance control over the mechanisms. Ningxiu slowly withdrew his mana, putting the 5 elements ruler away in his storage waist belt. The 5 elements generating and overcoming technique has shown some results. Since acquiring this spell, Ningxiu had diligently practiced without interruption. Now, he had drilled the spell to such an extent that it was second nature, almost like breathing, effortless and instinctive. The next step is to achieve mastery through experience. This cannot be achieved merely by diligent practice. It requires sudden insights during use. Ningxiu decided to reduce his practice time. Mastery through experience was an unpredictable training goal. It could take days, dozens of days, or even years. Anything was possible. He knew it was time to go to the second Taoist sect to receive the 5 elements spiritual conversion disc, Ningxiu's residence. He summoned his comrades from the renovation team. In the small courtyard, everyone gathered with excited and joyful expressions on their faces. The youths greeted Ningxiu one by one. "Brother Xiu, how's your study on the substitute puppet going? I can also offer my flesh and blood for your research without a single spirit stone in exchange. Brother Xiu, can we really create that mechanical monkey? It's at the golden core level. The 3 families have been busy with this. You're amazing." This time, Ningxiu had utilized the power of the 3 families to forge a golden core level mechanical monkey, making a massive impact. Everyone knew that Ningxiu was only at the 3rd level of qi refining, yet he managed such an impressive feat. His comrades couldn't help but feel envious and admiring. On this point, Ningxiu needed to clarify. He said, "The golden core level mechanical monkey is still far from complete. I only wanted to start with its skeleton and outer armor. The real key lies in its internal structure and various mechanism components. I'm still designing these aspects. Alas, the difficulty is too high." As he spoke, Ning Zhu shook his head and smiled wryly. With an honest demeanor, he told everyone, "Actually, whether it's researching substitute puppets or creating the golden core level mechanical monkey, it's driven by my inner fears." Sai, the previous incident involving the collaboration of the three families, and Ning Xiaohui framing me, wounded me deeply. If family members can do such things, what about outsiders? Recently, Ning Haojun and Ning Yufu also specially advised me to stay safe. I happened upon the opportunity to take control of the black market and have been under scrutiny ever since. Many are secretly watching me. It is indeed very dangerous. Ning Yang spoke up first, agitated. Ning Xiaohui is a vile person. I secretly liked her back when we were in school. She's a disgrace to the main branch, a disgrace to the Ning family. Ning Chen offered comfort. Brother Zhu, don't worry. Our ancestor has already declared that you are the family's greatest contributor. The main branch won't dare to deal with you so openly anymore. Someone opposed. But attacking in secret is even harder to guard against and more terrifying, isn't it? Most people were indignant. HMPH, those despicable people, they can't stand to see our branch producing a pillar, a future family elder. All right, all right. Ning Zhuo raised his hand to halt their discussion. As usual, he began explaining his insights into spellcasting. His comrades quickly became engrossed, listening intently and with fascination. Ning Zhuo's demonstrations of the 5 elements magic frequently elicited exclamations of wonder. Ning Jai appeared to be smiling and absorbed, but he was not truly engaged. His heart remained detached, out of sync with the renovation team. I don't cultivate the 5 elements chi regulation art. Listening to the spellcasting discussions, he felt bored and impatient. In his mind, he savored the feeling of overseeing others and wielding power in the black market. Initially, when he allied with Ning Zhuo, Ning Jai felt extremely uncomfortable and secretly complained to his father, Ning Zi. He thought the black market was filthy and dangerous, the tasks unpleasant and laborious, with no sense of honor. He also worried that Ning Zhuo might take revenge on him for past issues. Ning Zi comforted him, saying, "Ning Zhuo will surely tolerate you. I've seen that Ning Zhuo is ambitious and aims for great achievements, so he must care about his reputation. He wouldn't do something like rising to prominence and then being ungrateful or harsh to his relatives." This reassurance opened up a new world for Ning Jai. After trying in the black market, he found that many people indeed feared him as Ning Zhuo's relative, showing tolerance and even flattery. This allowed him to dominate, secretly receive tributes, and abuse his power, favoring some people. He led a comfortable life, enjoying the taste of authority, even if only a little. The former stewards had indeed reported his behavior up the chain. However, Ning Zhuo ignored these reports, showing no reaction. This attitude said it all. The astute former stewards followed suit, turning a blind eye to much of Ning Jai's corruption. After explaining many spellcasting essentials, Ning Zhuo also commented on their crafted mechanism artifacts, buying excellent ones with spirit stones. Notably, Ning Zhuo used the help of these comrades and Chen Cha and the mechanical workshop to continually purchase mechanism artifacts from outside. He accumulated them very quickly. In his life-and-death battle with Chi Bai, Ning Zhuo had exhausted nearly all his combat reserves built up over 16 years. In a short time, his preparations of mechanism artifacts reached nearly 30% of what they had been originally. When Ning Zhuo told his comrades that they would soon explore the Magma Fairy Palace together, they were thrilled. "Brother Zhuo, we've been waiting for this day. We can finally explore the Immortal Palace with you again, Brother Zhuo." Exploring with Brother Zhu is super fun. According to the Immortal Palace's rules, each person could enter up to 3 times daily. But in practice, trial disciples rarely used the full 3 times. Sometimes, they did not explore even once. The main reason was that they gained little from their explorations. They had already collected all the spell rewards they could bring out of the Immortal Palace. By sharing these spells after leaving, everyone quickly mastered all the spells. This was the advantage of having a large group. They also couldn't make it to the leaderboard to earn leaderboard rewards. At most, they could train their mechanical techniques by challenging levels with puppet bodies. However, this was far less efficient than making mechanism artifacts in the Fire Persimmon Immortal City's workshop. Moreover, exploring the Immortal Palace consumed soul power. For most, without significant progress in strength, repeated exploration held little meaning. Soon, everyone gathered in the Magma Fairy Palace. Puppet Ning Zhuo led the way, guiding his comrades through each challenge. Seeing all kinds of spell rewards acquired by Ning Zhu with ease, Ning Chen, Ning Yang, and others exclaimed in admiration. When Ning Zhu obtained dozens of flying hands, his spell offensives reached a new level. With the flying hands mechanisms casting spells alongside Ning Zhu's puppet body, it was almost like dozens of cultivators casting together. A large number of spells erupted simultaneously, creating a grand offensive display woven with a variety of spell lights, both magnificent and perilous. Watching Ning Zhu advance unhindered, casting wind, thunder, fire, and lightning with a wave of his hand, his comrades were deeply stirred. At 16 or 17 years old, they idolized heroes and craved the spotlight. The grace Ning Zhu exhibited made them yearn from the bottom of their hearts. During breaks in the challenges, Ning Zhu encouraged them with a smile. You can achieve this level as well. But it requires diligent practice, a lot of time and effort. I have also put in much effort behind the scenes to master these spells. Having exchanged for a large amount of spellcasting experience through leaderboard rewards, Ning Zhu said this without a hint of guilt. Seeing Ning Zhu, who had talent, was hardworking, and remained humble and approachable, everyone was deeply moved. If you want to practice in private, don't hesitate to contact each other and arrange sparring sessions. It will be more effective. Ning Zhu thought for a moment. How about this? I will rent a training ground in the clan's territory for a long term just for your use. You can go there, show your waste tokens, state your names, and use it for free. Upon hearing this, everyone cheered joyously. Ning Zhu offered this convenience and displayed various impressive spells to inspire his peers to practice earnestly. This would be extremely beneficial for them, because after the second Dao Gate, they needed to use the 5 elements generating technique to select the 5 elements spiritual conversion disc. Young cultivators being proficient in the previous 5 elements magic would greatly benefit at this stage. With a solid foundation, they would find the 5 elements generating technique easier to master, and consequently, they could obtain higher quality 5 elements spiritual conversion discs. Such advantages were accumulated step by step. The foundation of my power is the branch members of the Ning family, and the core of this power isn't the former elders in the foundation establishment stage, nor Ning Yufu and Ning Haojun, but these people here. Although others had higher cultivation levels, they were already set in their ways. Ning Zhu knew very well that the 5 elements qi regulation art was the future. He had already obtained the 9th level of the 5 elements qi regulation art. Although he wasn't very knowledgeable about the ice heart technique, the overall value of the 5 elements qi regulation art, in terms of external effects, far surpassed the ice heart technique. The ice heart technique was only better in ice magic and mental state compared to the 5 elements qi regulation art. Yet, the 5 elements qi regulation art was merely one of the 3 superior sect techniques. This group of people had a future. They admired Ning Zhu, grew alongside him, learned together, and had bonds of old friendships. They were young, driven, and idealistic, unlike the older ones who had experienced too much and were harder to motivate. Just like now, Ning Zhu only needed to display the magnificent attacks of the 5 elements magic to captivate them. Ning Zhu merely needed to rent a training ground for free use, and they were already immensely grateful. The clever part was that by controlling the other 2 cultivation techniques, Ning Zhu could firmly manage their cultivation levels. Those whom Ning Zhu found promising, with sufficient talent and proven loyalty and abilities, would be secretly taught the other 2 cultivation techniques by him. Even if they only received the first 3 levels and not the complete techniques, it would still greatly benefit their foundation establishment. Through these techniques, Ning Zhu could control them, provided that the Magma Fairy Palace's side remained undisclosed. Ning Zhu continued to forge ahead. He effortlessly performed various spells. What he had previously concealed, he now began to reveal. His peers were continually amazed. I feel like I don't need to be here at all. Brother Zhu is too strong, he doesn't really need us. This is my easiest venture into the Immortal Palace. No, we are still useful. At least we handed over our Spirit Stone rewards to Brother Zhu. Brother Zhu, when will you merge them? I still want to try. When everyone was idle, they couldn't help but reminisce about the times they had assembled puppet bodies together to pass the trials. In those situations, they at least had some sense of participation. But now they had all become spectators behind Ning Zhuo, only responsible for cheering and praising him. Many felt empty and ashamed of not contributing. The 8th pass, the 9th pass, the transfer station, the first Dao gate. At the 3rd gate of the Dao gate, the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng blocked their way. Ning Zhuo led everyone in battle against Yuan Dasheng. The fight was extremely intense. From the beginning, Ning Zhuo's side was at a disadvantage. Yuan Dasheng rampaged, showing a tremendous sense of oppression. Ning Zhuo delivered most of the firepower, while his peers charged forward one after another, fearlessly entangling Yuan Dasheng. Quick, tangle up this mechanical monkey. Even if it costs us our lives, as long as we hold him for a few breaths, Brother Zhu's spell can hit the monkey. The mechanical monkey is too slippery and fast, but if we sacrifice ourselves to tangle him, we have a chance to win. The peers laughed heroically as they sacrificed themselves. Ning Zhu's spells struck Yuan Dasheng's body, also injuring his peers, killing them. His peers laughed heartily before their deaths, genuinely happy to provide Ning Zhuo with any help. Though it wasn't true death, this willingness to contribute and the burgeoning camaraderie around Ning Zhuo were already evident. In the end, with only 2 or 3 people left, and having depleted over 90% of his spirit stone reserves, Yuan Dasheng suddenly ceased fighting. He let out a low roar, and under the astonished gazes of the Ning family members, he slowly retreated, pushed open the door, and left for the previous pass. Did that mechanical monkey just retreat on its own? Everyone felt like they were in a dream. Brother Zhuo, leave it there, someone shouted. Ning Zhuo shook his head. I am already at the end of my strength, don't chase a cornered enemy. Only when Yuan Dasheng pushed the door fully open and truly left did the remaining Ning family youths realize. We won. We did it, we drove back that mechanical monkey. My heavens, we've succeeded. Ning Zhuo shook his head once more. My spirit stones are almost completely consumed. This victory was very precarious. However, the others did not think so at all. They looked at Ning Zhuo excitedly, praising him with admiration in their eyes. Brother Zhuo, leader, we did it. Even the 3-family alliance couldn't drive away that mechanical monkey, but we forced it to retreat. In fact, last time we almost succeeded. It's just that Ning Zhuo stopped me. Ning Zhuo shook his head, fully seizing the chance to deepen the conflicts between the main and branch lines. That time was indeed unfortunate, but I much prefer this kind of success. Yeah, now I can't wait to go out and boast. We defeated the mechanical monkey. Ning Zhuo shook his head again. We didn't completely defeat it, it voluntarily retreated. I think this must be the Immortal Palace's design. As long as our strength is within a certain range, and we inflict a certain amount of damage on the mechanical monkey, it will retreat voluntarily. Let's keep moving forward. Ning Zhuo's calm demeanor made everyone suppress their inner excitement and wholeheartedly follow him forward. After driving back the mechanical monkey, Ning Zhuo didn't show the slightest hint of a smile. His leader-like demeanor deeply impressed the remaining crowd. Little did they know, Ning Zhuo was calculating the repair costs for the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng. This mechanical body was still a mystery to Ning Zhuo. Repairing the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng required materials and tools provided in the trial stages. Ning Zhuo worried that overusing external materials might be considered foreign objects by the Magma Fairy Palace, possibly leading to rejection. In short, repairing the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng was an undoubtedly troublesome task for now. With the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng gone, the way ahead was smooth. Not long after, Ning Zhuo led the survivors to the second transfer hall, the place where Meng Chang had arrived. They saw only one door. He touched the second Dao gate and exclaimed, "It's the follow-up cultivation technique." Then, the others rushed forward to touch the door. After obtaining the cultivation technique, they compared notes and found that they were all the same. We did it! We got the follow-up cultivation technique. So, Meng Chang only made it this far. The renovation team from the City Lord's mansion also obtained the follow-up cultivation technique not too long ago. Everyone was exhilarated. On one hand, they had been stuck at the 3rd level of qi refinement for days and finally had a follow-up cultivation technique, making their excitement indescribable. On the other hand, they finally saw the backs of the leading figures and were surprised to find that Meng Chang and his group weren't far ahead of them. At this moment, their morale was thus ignited. Without cultivation at the peak of the 6th level, we can't push this door open. No wonder the renovation team from the city lord's mansion is burying their heads in cultivation. Hurry back, make the most of the time. I need to frantically train. Everyone, Ningzhu suddenly said, please keep the follow-up cultivation technique strictly confidential and let me handle all external negotiations. Agreed. The survivors had no objections. They expressed that this exploration's great success was all owed to Ningzhu, and they had merely played a minor role in the final fierce battle. They left everything to Ningzhu to handle. When Ningzhu and his group, carrying the follow-up cultivation technique, returned to their bodies and came back to the clan's territory, the entire Ning family's upper echelon was astir. Is it really true? This youngster Ningzhu is indeed impressive. The clan leader and several elders of the main line hadn't expected such an occurrence. Ningzhu was a newly emerging talent in the family, whose potential had yet to be tested, but he had repeatedly excelled in exploring the Magma Fairy Palace. This achievement solidified Ningzhu's position. Even the main line of the Ning family had to admit that Ningzhu was the pillar of the renovation team, the true core figure. The main line and clan leader of the Ning family felt conflicted. Normally, they would have already started suppressing geniuses from the branch line until they gave in. But now, Ningzhu wielded the influence of the Magma Fairy Palace, forcing them to accommodate and appease him. Previously, underestimating Ningzhu had led to a misstep, causing the fall of the young clan leader and his imprisonment. Now, Ning family ancestor Ning Jiufan had publicly acknowledged Ningzhu's talent. Moreover, Ningzhu also controlled the black market and had many foundation establishment elites under his command. His influence is too strong to control. Ningzhu must have a high mentor behind him. Those two old folks from the branch line must play a significant role. The clan leader and main line of the Ning family were anxious, but they couldn't do anything else. Ningzhu actively sought an audience with the clan leader of the Ning family and, as per their previous agreement, handed over the follow-up cultivation technique. He made a request. Next, I will focus on my cultivation. I've heard that the clan possesses a flowing clouds and streaming water talisman with spiritual nature, which aids in joint cultivation. Its effects are excellent. As per our agreement, I asked the clan leader to bestow this talisman upon me. The clan leader of the Ning family nodded slightly. Okay. The flowing clouds and streaming water talisman is with Ning Ziohui. I will have someone retrieve it today. Come by tomorrow and I will give it to you. Ningzhu added, my cultivation speed is already fast, and with the additional support of this talisman, it's like adding wings to a tiger. But rapid cultivation also has its downsides. May I ask, clan leader, if the clan has any means to purify mana? The clan leader of the Ning family felt there was no need to hide and straightforwardly replied, we do have a talisman called the Mysterious Ice Purifying Snow Talisman. This talisman, like the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, contains some natural spiritual nature. When used, it freezes the cultivator. No matter which danshan is primarily cultivated, it freezes the impurities and eradicates them. Among hundreds of cultivation arts, the mechanical techniques were considered esoteric and low-ranking. Mechanical techniques could harness spiritual nature, and naturally, other cultivation arts involving spiritual nature were not rare either. The clan leader of the Ning family advised that these two talismans were very precious, and that the number of uses should be strictly limited to prevent depletion of their spiritual nature. Ningzhu thought of the cremation Prajna Spirit Liberation Sutra. I wonder if I could use this sutra to augment the spiritual nature of these two talismans. Adding spirituality to other items was something Ningzhu had experience with. The spiritual nature of Yuan Dasheng, Qi Bai, and Ningzai had all been enhanced through the cremation Prajna Spirit Liberation Sutra. He consumed the relics they left behind in life and used the cremation Prajna Spirit Liberation Sutra to enhance their spirituality. The effect was obvious, convenient, and efficient. However, the spirituality used for these two talismans came from the natural world. Unlike Yuan Dasheng and the others, who were human and had frequently used items in life that served as fuel for cremation. If I had to approach it from this angle, I would need to find the places where this spirituality once existed. There, burn mountains and rivers. Ningzhu, upon calculating to this point, felt a bit off. He had no confidence in it at all. He knew the reason. I only know how to use the cremation prajna spirit liberation sutra. I know that it works, but I don't understand why. From Ningzhu's perspective, the cremation prajna spirit liberation sutra was essentially a tool. It consumed mana and relevant relics to exchange for the corresponding spirituality. For example, this cultivation technique was akin to a crossbow. Ningzhu could use a crossbow, knowing that pulling the trigger would shoot an object. But he didn't understand the principles behind the crossbow. Only when he grasped the principles could he modify it, turning a crossbow into a ballista, or altering the arrow to fly further and more accurately. I need to understand the cremation prajna spirit liberation sutra. This might be a long process and a vast project. I'll have to wait until I have time in the future. In his current situation, Ningzhu definitely had no way to implement it. He had to seize every second for cultivation. Previously, when he practiced the 5 elements generating arts, he practiced until reaching a stage of proficient instinct and then decisively paused. Because he could not predict the outcomes of the next stage of training or control the precise time required. The external pressure on Ningzhu was simply too great. His current situation was like an egg wedged between boulders. The outcome of an egg hitting a rock was foreseeable. Ningzhu struggled to survive in the crevices of the 4 major forces and sought to break through the encirclement, reaching the ultimate place of victory, the throne of the magma fairy palace. Ningzhu knew he needed to carefully consider where to spend each and every second for the most correct, safest, and highest expected outcome. Quite possibly, a wrong choice could lead to his defeat and even death in the near future. If in the future, I thoroughly understand the cremation prajna spirit liberation sutra. Even if this cultivation technique can't enhance natural spirituality, I can make improvements. I could create a new cultivation technique based on it to help the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman and the mysterious ice purifying snow talisman enhance their spirituality. Soon, Ningzhu left the Ning family clan land. He didn't return to his residence, but immediately took a carriage to the complete book pavilion. There, he decisively sold the subsequent techniques of the 5 elements chi regulation art that he had just obtained to the complete book pavilion. He earned a substantial amount of reward. Since he didn't have any books he wanted to exchange for the time being, Ningzhu didn't spend this reward for now. After leaving the complete book pavilion, he sent someone to invite Zhou Zeshan and Zheng Jian to a banquet. In a private room of a tavern, he directly took out 2 jade slips and handed them to the 2 of them. The jade slips recorded the subsequent techniques of the 5 elements chi regulation art, but only the beginning part of the technique. After scanning the jade slips, both Zheng Jian and Zhou Zeshan showed expressions of shock. Zheng Jian said in disbelief, "Could this really be the follow-up technique of the 5 elements chi regulation art?" Ningzhu smiled slightly and calmly admitted. He told the 2 that this time, leading the Ning's renovation team, he had a significant success in exploring the magma fairy palace. Not only did they luckily repel the mechanical monkey, but they also reached the 2nd Dao gate. As long as you touch the Dao gate, you will receive the next technique. Now, I want to sell these techniques to you too. Zhou Zeshan and Zheng Jian exchanged a glance. Zhou Zeshan was the first to react. Of course, that's possible. Brother Ning, you could have secretly cultivated to establish an advantage for the Ning family. But instead, you are selling it to us at the first opportunity. I will remember this favor, Zhou Zeshan. Ningzhu chuckled. I also have my self-interests. Both of you know I progress rapidly with this technique, seeming to have talent and physique greatly suited for it. Next, I will definitely enter seclusion to practice diligently, striving to reach the peak of the 6th layer soon. Only then can I push open the 2nd Dao gate. Not long ago, the news leaked from the city lord's mansion. Everyone knows. Meng Chong and others are also practicing diligently. Now that we have this subsequent technique, we should seize the time and perhaps catch up with them. Honestly, I am very curious about the ranking rewards. Maybe this time, someone from our 3 families can climb onto the Magma Fairy Palace's rankings. Ningzhu's words greatly stirred Zhou Zeshan's and Zheng Jian's competitive spirits. Their desire to purchase the subsequent technique surged suddenly. Zheng Jian said directly, "Brother Ning, putting the big picture first and voluntarily selling us the key follow-up technique, such high righteousness, is incomparable to someone like Ning Ziohui. I wonder what Brother Ning wants in exchange." Is it related to refining the golden core level mechanical monkey? Ningzhu shook his head slightly. He clarified once again. Regarding the mechanical monkey, I increasingly think I made a mistake, moving too fast. It's causing a detrimental impact now. In fact, I merely borrowed the strength of the three families to forge the shell and skeleton of the mechanical monkey. It is still a long way from being fully functional. Right now, what I desire more are resources useful for my own cultivation, especially items that can purify mana. Zheng Jian and Zhou Zeshan, upon hearing this, both fell into contemplation. Zheng Jian clapped his hands. That can be arranged. My family has a magic artifact specifically for purifying mana, which I can sell to Brother Ning. Zhou Zeshan, however, thought deeply. According to Ning Zhu's description, when he reached the second Dao gate, he wasn't alone. There were other Ning family members. I don't have to buy the follow-up technique from Ning Zhu. Maybe I can start with other members. Forget it, it's unnecessary. Zhou Zeshan quickly realized. Ning Zhu and he were of the same type, both full of schemes. Ning Zhu must have instructed the renovation team members to strictly keep the follow-up technique a secret. Doing so might not succeed. Even if it did, it would antagonize Ning Zhu. Obviously, maintaining a good relationship with Ning Zhu is more important. Zhou Zeshan's mind raced with thoughts and quickly said, Our family can send several formation masters to configure arrays specifically for Brother Ning's residence. Brother Ning can use the arrays to purify mana very efficiently. Ning Zhu had long planned how to utilize the subsequent technique of the 5 elements qi regulation art. Within a day, he sold this technique in 4 places, maximizing his own profits by eating a fish 4 times. As Meng Chang continues to challenge the barriers, the 5 elements qi regulation art is bound to stay a secret. This is unlike the demon-infused bloodline technique or the spirit communication technique, where Ning Zhu raised stone walls to block it out, keeping everyone in the dark. If Ning Zhu didn't sell it, the city lord's mansion would leak it out. Now, the techniques from the 4th to the 6th layer of the 5 elements qi regulation art were at their most valuable. Ning Zhu took advantage of the opportunity to sell them, indeed fetching a good price. He traded for the cultivation resources he desperately needed to purify mana. Ning Zhu, being from a branch lineage of the Ning family, was not favored by the main lineage. Without background or backing, he had to rely on his own hands to seize and scheme for better and faster cultivation. Not long after Ning Zhu returned to his residence, a family messenger brought him the mysterious ice-purifying snow talisman. This talisman was entirely white, like top-quality silk. When Ning Zhu touched it, he felt a slight chill. The runes on the talisman were smooth and sharp, carrying the unique personal style of the talisman master. Ning Zhu vaguely sensed that the talisman master who created this talisman had profound accomplishments in talisman crafting. But he couldn't see to what extent at a glance. Ning Zhu placed the talisman on his palm. After a while, a thin layer of glow enveloped the surface of the talisman. Within this glow, the temperature of the air dropped, quickly condensing into small snowflakes. Each snowflake was extremely tiny, like mosquitoes, crystal clear. Indeed, it has spirituality. Ning Zhu had created many spiritual mechanisms using the cremation Prajna Spirit Liberation Sutra. He was quite familiar with this feeling of spirituality. Ning Zhu began his cultivation. He used the mysterious ice-purifying snow talisman to freeze himself in ice. When the ice melted, Ning Zhu could hardly contain his joy. The effects of the mysterious ice-purifying snow talisman were astonishing, far exceeding Ning Zhu's upper estimate. The dragon tornado magic artifact was nothing compared to it. Using it to purify the 3 dantians, and assisting with other methods, I can completely purify myself in about 7 days, eradicating all alien qi. The only drawback is its limited spirituality. Each use consumes spirituality, and I only have 15 uses. Although Ning Zhu had temporary usage rights, the Ning family clan leader had strictly regulated it to prevent Ning Zhu from overusing and depleting the talisman's spirituality. Ning Zhu thought of the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. After using the mysterious ice-purifying snow talisman, he could infer the efficacy of the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. No wonder Ning Xiaohui could rise quickly and reach the 3rd layer of qi refinement back then. I'll press for it tomorrow. The flowing clouds and streaming water talisman should no longer remain in Ning Xiaohui's hands. Though Ning Zhu might not need it himself, He wanted to show urgency. Furthermore, taking the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman from Ning Xiaohui would significantly weaken a rival. The former Ning Zhu was merely a marginal figure of a branch lineage. When he asked Ning Xiaoran for the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, Ning Xiaoran sneered. Foolish dreamer! Now, with his strategies and maneuvers amidst the rivalry of the four major forces, Ning Zhuo had risen to high ranks. Even the Ning family main lines, Ning Xiaohui had to offer treasures to him voluntarily. Now his reputation was even discussed by the Golden Core-level patriarchs. Where others sought the Magma Fairy Palace, the legacy of the three ancestral masters, Ning Zhu used the Magma Fairy Palace to play off major forces, extracting countless cultivation resources from them for himself. Without the resources and wealth of other forces, how could Ning Zhu have advanced so rapidly? The Ning family clan leader's messenger had come looking for Ning Xiaohui. Ning Xiaohui's expression did not look good. She had been immersed in her cultivation, yet had been interrupted by an outsider. You better have important matters, or else. Ning Xiaohui looked at the messenger, her gaze dangerous. Her cultivation had been stuck at the 3rd level of qi refinement, but she possessed the talent Ice Jade Hands. The latter was her primary focus in cultivation. Not long ago, she had participated in the forging of the Zheng family's mechanical black snake weapon and had gained considerable insight, especially into the profound meaning of Ice Jade Hands. The Zheng family's mechanical weapon was too vicious, filled with killing intent. Ning Xiaohui had used her talent to help the weapon turn the tables at a critical point. This process of artifact refining had a profound impact on her. On the night she returned, she discovered significant advancement in her talent. She could even repair items of golden elixir level. Previously, when her soul entered the Immortal Palace, she could also use her talent to repair puppet bodies, but the grade of the repaired objects was not high. This time, she found that she even had some ability to repair golden elixir level items. When Ning Xiaohui used her talent Ice Jade Hands, she could freeze damaged items into ice blocks. After the ice block melted, the damaged items often had their deficiencies mended, such as cracks being sealed or wounds and defects self-healing like a growing tree. The messenger had waited for a long time and finally saw Ning Xiaohui. He first congratulated her, then handed her a jade slip. Within the jade slip were the 4th to 6th levels of the 5 elements qi regulation art. Good with this. I can finally advance to the mid-stage of qi refinement. I will have more mana, and I can use my talent more frequently. Wait a minute. Suddenly, Ning Xiaohui's expression changed slightly. She thought of a possibility and asked, How did you obtain this? After I left, did the 3 families join forces and successfully defeat the mechanical monkey? The messenger knew the details. He had intended to conceal them, but had to reveal the truth since Ning Xiaohui asked specifically. Upon learning that the one who had successfully passed the trials and obtained the subsequent cultivation technique was Ning Zhuo, Ning Xiaohui's brows furrowed deeply. Him! Ning Xiaohui's lips twitched, still in disbelief. How could it be Ning Zhuo? How could he have such strength? Messenger, he truly does. In this Immortal Palace exploration, Ning Zhuo with his own strength led the way, using various spells endlessly. He led his trusted followers, fighting their way through. The renovation team members followed behind him, acting as cannon fodder in the battle against the mechanical monkey. Ning Zhu eventually defeated the mechanical monkey, reached the 2nd Taoist gate, and obtained the subsequent cultivation technique. You should know, the City Lord's mansion recently revealed information about Meng Chong and others cultivating the 4th to 6th levels of the technique. In other words, the Ning's renovation team has caught up with the City Lord's mansion. The messenger, filled with strong family honor, got carried away, not noticing the increasingly dark clouds on Ning Xiaohui's face. Feeling Ning Xiaohui's cold gaze, the messenger immediately shut his mouth. Ning Xiaohui's fingers, clutching the jade slip of the cultivation technique, turned white from exertion. Good. Ning Xiaohui gritted her teeth, uttering 3 words. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. She had been forced to leave the renovation team because of Ning Zhuo and had taken the path of soul entering Immortal Palace. Since her departure, she had smooth sailing, developing steadily, even participating in golden elixir level artifact refining. But Ning Xiaohui, inherently proud, could not accept being driven away from the main lineage by a branch member. She deeply resented Ningxiu and was determined to seek revenge. She seemed like a changed person, abstaining from all pleasure and rest since leaving the renovation team, seizing every moment for cultivation. Whenever she felt extremely tired, on the verge of collapse, she would think of Ningxiu's face, which instantly filled her with boundless motivation. Her cultivation could be described as mad. Even her grandmother couldn't bear to watch and had to forcibly interrupt her several times, ordering Ning Xiaohui to rest. Ning Xiaohui's plan was simple: to cultivate her talent insanely, preparing to reclaim her dignity in the future. But at this moment, hearing that Ningxiu had achieved great success, Ning Xiaohui was utterly shaken. She had never thought that Ningxiu would one day catch up to Meng Chong. After all, Meng Chong possessed immortal aptitude, but the fact is he had. Perhaps, in my entire life, I may never catch up to Ningxiu. Suddenly, she fully realized that in terms of mechanical techniques, there was a vast gap between her and Ningxiu. The gap was so wide that she might not be able to narrow it despite a lifetime of effort. Ning Xiaohui, who was extremely proud and always took pride in her main branch status, now realized that she might never surpass Ningxiu, a branch member. This realization caused her immense pain and frustration. The jade slip containing the cultivation technique was cool to the touch, but Ning Xiaohui found it scorching hot at this moment. She wanted to throw it away, smash it onto the ground, and loudly declare, "This is Ningxiu's doing, I disdain it. I will cultivate the subsequent techniques through my own efforts in the future." But she couldn't do it. Since taking the route of soul entering Immortal Palace, she had discovered many new opportunities and realized that obtaining subsequent techniques would likely require passing trial checkpoints. She no longer had the face to soul enter the Immortal Palace. Once discovered, she would surely be ostracized and mocked. Being ostracized was one thing, but the thought of being mocked and ridiculed by other trial disciples made Ning Xiaohui lose the courage to soul enter the Immortal Palace. This feeling was worse than death for her. She couldn't bear it. So, if I want to seek the subsequent techniques now, Ningxiu's is the only option. Damn it, damn it. Ning Xiaohui felt a surge of shame, which spurred her desire to grow stronger, crazily so. But to become stronger, she had to cultivate the subsequent techniques that Ningxiu had obtained. This made Ning Xiaohui feel as uncomfortable and frustrated as swallowing a fly. The messenger noticed Ning Xiaohui's twisted expression and quickly tried to comfort her, telling her that the subsequent techniques had already been purchased by the Ning family clan leader. What? Ning Xiaohui was startled. She suddenly felt much better. She snorted coldly, scornfully saying, "That Ningxiu is utterly selfish and inconsiderate. He is a Ning family member, raised under the family's protection. Yet with a slight achievement, he bargains with the family. Where is his loyalty? How dare he openly trade these things with the family? Does he take the family for granted? What an ungrateful wolf." Ning Xiaohui had never seen such behavior from a branch member. Ningxiu's actions deeply repulsed and disgusted her. The messenger, with a stiff expression, "The cultivation technique Jade Slip has already been delivered. There is another important matter concerning the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. I have been ordered by the clan leader to retrieve this talisman from you." Miss Ning Xiaohui was stunned. "What? No way," she instinctively opposed. She had always kept the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman close to her, using her talent and mana to nurture and refine it daily. Suddenly being asked to hand over the talisman to the family left Ning Xiaohui unprepared. She felt puzzled. "Why? I just got the subsequent technique and I'm planning to practice hard." "I need to use the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman." The messenger hesitated to speak. Ning Xiaohui, being smart, thought of a possibility and her face showed slight anger. "What do you mean? Are you planning to give the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman to Ningxiu?" "Exactly." The messenger sighed, his face full of bitterness. "This is part of the deal between Ningxiu and the clan leader." Outrageous. He is just a branch member, yet he dares to make such demands, utterly audacious. The clan leader actually conceded. Such weakness, allowing a mere branch member to show no respect. Ning Xiaohui screamed in anger. The flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, containing spiritual nature, is a family treasure. Instead of being used by the main branch, it's given to a branch member. This is utterly preposterous. In this Ning family, who is in charge? Ning Xiaohui, furious, her face pale, kept shouting. The messenger kept his head down, silently enduring her scolding, having anticipated Ning Xiaohui's reaction. Ning Xiaohui cursed Ning Zhu vehemently, finally stopping when she was tired and out of breath. The messenger took the opportunity to explain that he was just a small figure, and the order was given by the clan leader. He asked Ning Xiaohui to be magnanimous and not make things difficult for him. Ning Xiaohui snorted coldly. "Just you wait, I'll go talk to my grandmother about this." It turned out that when Ning Xiaohui's grandmother heard about this, she persuaded Ning Xiaohui instead. Ning Zhu is not easy to deal with. He is very resourceful, with high-ranking branch members backing him, even managing to dethrone Ning Xiaoran, the young clan leader. Right now, he controls the black market and has many foundation establishment elites under him. The entire branch supports him. He's also closely associated with the Zhou family and the Zheng family. More importantly, he has caught the eye of our family's ancestor. The ancestor publicly stated that Ning Zhu has contributions to our Ning family. Xiaohui, a gentleman, takes revenge 10 years later. Currently, Ning Zhu is in the limelight. We shouldn't confront him. Wait until his momentum wanes, then it's not too late to seek revenge. If you can't endure minor setbacks, you will disrupt major plans. Just endure for now, it won't hurt. Ning Xiaohui pouted, shaking her grandmother's arm, acting coquettishly. But this time, her grandmother was determined. "Xiaohui, compare yourself with Ning Xiaoran. If you confront him now, you might end up in jail too." Ning Xiaohui's face turned pale. "Grandmother, with you protecting me, how could I be?" Her grandmother interrupted directly. "I am merely a family elder. Look at the clan leader. His position was much higher and more important than mine. Did he manage to protect his son?" Ning Xiaohui's lips trembled, unable to respond for a long time. Eventually, she, with a pale face, handed the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman to the messenger. The messenger received the talisman, hastily taking his leave, not daring to stay longer. Ning Xiaohui watched the messenger's retreating figure, almost grinding her teeth to dust. "Ning Zhu, I will repay today's humiliation 100-fold. HMPH, your good days won't last long. I've discovered that the key lies in soul entering Immortal Palace. Once I accumulate enough contributions, I can exchange for an Immortal Palace position. The highest position should be Palace Master. With my Ice Jade Hand's talent, I am already close to accumulating enough to exchange for the Physician position. With the Physician position, my contribution accumulation speed will increase 5-fold, advancing rapidly. In the future, my cultivation, contributions, and position will all surpass you. I've memorized every offense, every slight. One day, I will settle the score with you thoroughly." The renovation team of the City Lord's mansion had collectively gone into seclusion for cultivation, and it had been some time since they started. Leaders Li Duolun, Feng Feidao, and Guan Taisuo met to discuss Ning Zhu. The chubby Li Duolun was the first to speak. "Have you heard? Someone has already matched our record." The short Feng Feidao nodded. "I know, it was done by Ning Zhu of the Ning family." Guan Taisuo, his voice muffled and full of doubt, asked, "We have young Master Meng Chong on our side. What about the Ning family? How did they manage it?" Li Duolun then explained. Upon learning that Ning Zhu had used 5 elements magic to blast his way through, even someone as tough as Guan Taisuo couldn't help but gasp softly in admiration. In awe, he said, "Impressive. We've all cultivated these 5 elements magic, but Ning Zhu managed to reach the second gate relying solely on them. It shows his proficiency in spells is extraordinary. You know, we're listed on the ranking board and get rewards periodically. As long as we choose spells, we get divine inspiration and gain casting experience. Even so, none of us could achieve what Ning Zhu has done. He did it all on his own without any rewards from the ranking board. It's truly terrifying." Feng Feidao crossed his arms and speculated. How could this Ning Zhu master various 5 elements magic to such an extent in such a short time? Did he perhaps spend all his free time practicing spells? If you think about it, he must have been stuck at Qi Refinement Stage 3 for a long time. But without subsequent cultivation techniques, his level couldn't progress. Under those circumstances, it's only natural he would devote all his time and energy to practicing spells. But Li Duolun shook his head and said, "That's the standard for ordinary people. From what I know, Ning Zhu is not an ordinary person." Apparently, Li Duolun knew more. He briefly explained Ning Zhu's feats to the other two. Ning Zhu seized control of the black market and dealt with the young clan leader of the Ning family. With the support of 3 families, Ning Zhu was openly refining a golden core level mechanical monkey. Even though he repeatedly clarified that the project only involved forging the mechanical monkey's outer shell and skeleton, achieving this with his chi refinement stage 3 was still remarkable. Now, Ning Zhu controlled the renovation team of the Ning family entirely, as he had full say in all matters. The Ning family's main bloodline genius, Ning Xiaohui, had been sidelined by him. Young men like him who rise from the bottom should never be underestimated, Li Duolun highly praised Ning Zhu. The other 2 fell into silence after hearing this. As pioneers, they felt the pressure of being chased. Feng Feidao sighed. This Ning Zhu isn't just an ordinary prodigy. I'm really curious about his true talent. Guan Taisuo's eyebrows slightly raised. With a hint of disbelief, he speculated, could he possibly have immortal aptitude? The 3 exchanged glances, falling silent once again. In the best cultivation secret room of the city lord's mansion. Meng Chong looked at the jade slip in his hand, his eyebrows slightly furrowed, muttering, Ning Zhu, huh? It was the first time Meng Chong truly took note of Ning Zhu's name. HMPH. If you want to catch up with me, you've got a long way to go. Try your best to stand side by side with me first. If that happens, I'll be very pleased, because the current exploration is somewhat boring. Meng Chong eagerly awaited trouble from the golden blood battle ape Dasheng. He yearned for revenge. However, recently, under Ning Zhu's arrangements, Dasheng had been actively avoiding confrontations, leaving Meng Chong quite unsettled. Setting aside the jade slip, Meng Chong delved back into cultivation. Immortal aptitude, frenzied rushing thunder. In the next moment, countless bolts of lightning surged through his body. With the help of the lightning, his cultivation advanced rapidly, improving with every breath. The frequent use of immortal aptitude had caused Meng Chong to become even thinner over this period. His cheekbones protruded, and his eye sockets were deeply sunken. He had used his immortal aptitude excessively. However, the sacrifices indeed brought great gains. Currently, his cultivation level had reached the late stage of the 5th level, nearing its peak. City Lord's Mansion study. Fei Si handled official affairs. He started his work at dawn. The neatly stacked jade slips he processed had formed a pile almost reaching Fei Si's chin. Just as he was about to take a breather, a subordinate brought in another batch of new jade slips. Fei Si, having long adapted to this routine, exhaled heavily. Since the issuance of the recruitment decree, the workload had increased more than tenfold. Many tasks seemed trivial but were of major importance. This was because countless important figures had flooded into Fire Persimmon Immortal City, including golden core level true disciples from taking Palace and Purple Dawn Pavilion. Fei Si had to handle these affairs properly. If mishandled, it could profoundly impact the city's stability and Meng Qi's rule. At the same time, he had to guard against demon path cultivators from the soul-devouring sect and others. Not long ago, Luo Shang intervened, engaging in a fierce battle at a hidden underground base. The battle had even involved the aura of a nascent soul-level entity. This incident sounded the alarm for Fei Si. Subsequent site investigations revealed traces of Bukong Sect's spellcasting aura. Based on their surmise, at least one golden core-level true disciple from Bukong Sect had participated in the fight, but they still didn't know who it was. The recruitment decree turned Fire Persimmon Immortal City into a whirlpool, stirring up stormy clouds. This move by the Southern Bean Country Lord had heavily strained Meng Qi's resources and efforts. It wasn't just Fei Si. Even Kai Dun had been running himself ragged lately. Fei Si had considered appointing a deputy, but he found none of the candidates up to his standards. They were either insufficiently capable or lacked the right status. Fei Si naturally thought of Ning Zhu. Although the latter only had the cultivation level of the Qi refinement stage 3, which was notably lacking, his abilities had long caught Fei Si's attention. Fei Si couldn't help but recall the latest intelligence on Ning Zhu. He never expected that Ning Zhu could achieve so much, matching Meng Chong's records. Now this kid, Ning Zhu, has obtained the subsequent cultivation techniques of the 5 elements Qi regulation art. But too much of anything is bad. He might not understand this principle yet, given his youth and the multitude of achievements. Only by experiencing such setbacks can he truly understand deeply. Kid, you need to stop. If you go any further, you'll be in trouble. Fei Si only thought this in his heart and never actually advised Ning Zhuo. He admired and believed in Ning Zhuo, seeing him as a younger version of himself. Fei Si himself had once suffered due to overreaching. Now he also wanted to see Ning Zhuo face such challenges. Fei Si silently waited for the opportunity. He wanted to step in and offer help when Ning Zhuo hit a low point. This way, the act of winning hearts would be much more effective. Ning family clan land. Damn it, damn it! Ning Xiaohui abruptly opened her eyes. Her aura surged like boiling water, her chest rising and falling in agitation. She could never calm her mind while cultivating the subsequent techniques of the 5 elements qi regulation art, feeling restless and irritable. Comparison truly brought pain. Especially after experiencing the great convenience that the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman brought to her cultivation, she found the current slowness even more intolerable. She deeply missed the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. Living in luxury is easy, returning to simplicity is hard. Every time she thought about the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman falling into Ning Zhuo's hands, she felt utterly miserable. Her treasure talisman was helping her enemy and rival, aiding in someone else's cultivation. Ning Xiaohui felt incredible discomfort and frustration. She didn't know. As soon as Ning Zhuo obtained the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, he put it aside for Sun Lingtong to examine. After all, this talisman was taken from Ning Xiaohui. Ning Zhuo couldn't be sure if she'd tampered with it. Something Ning Xiaohui desperately desired was indifferent to Ning Zhuo. Ning Zhuo didn't focus on improving his cultivation level. His lack was in the purification and refining of his 3 treasure cultivation levels. In the cultivation secret room, Ning Zhuo sat cross-legged on a mat. He opened his mouth to swallow a pure 1 pill, channeling mana to quickly digest the elixir, and wrapped the medicinal power with his essence blood. The essence blood circulated throughout his body, integrating the medicinal power. He took out the magic artifact, Tornado Windmill, to purify his mana. At the same time, he also used the pure source treasure mirror. This magic artifact was acquired from the Zheng family after he sold the subsequent cultivation techniques. The artifact's quality was high, with effects far superior to the Tornado Windmill. Ning Zhuo infused his 3 treasure cultivation level into the pure source treasure mirror. The mirror would then return the cultivation level back to him. The returned cultivation level was purer and more refined than before. Throughout Ning Zhuo's cultivation process, the formation in the secret room was always functioning. The formation provided significant help to Ning Zhuo. This formation was specially crafted for Ning Zhuo by several formation masters from the Zhou family, dispatched by Zhou Zeshan. It offered powerful refining effects. The combination of these means accelerated Ning Zhuo's purification and refining speed to a remarkable degree. The cultivation world had evolved to such an advanced stage that most resources were being utilized efficiently. Various auxiliary cultivation methods were available, vastly facilitating cultivation and impacting every aspect of a cultivator's effort. As a result, the demand for resources among cultivators had become unprecedentedly large. As long as resources were abundant and there were proper methods, cultivation could proceed rapidly. Ning Zhuo leveraged his connections and personal skill, utilizing resources from all 3 families. Previously, even prodigies like Zheng Jian and Zhou Zeshan struggled to achieve what Ning Zhuo had accomplished. The emergence of the Magma Fairy Palace created different ambitions among the 3 families. Due to the pressure from the city lord's mansion, they had to cooperate closely. This provided Ning Zhuo with a fertile environment for growth. In the past, mobilizing resources from all 3 families to such an extent would have been unthinkable. Several days passed swiftly. In the cultivation secret room, Ning Zhuo was enveloped in layers of floating clouds. He multitasked, pushing the 9th layer of the cultivation technique, initiating a crucial breakthrough. In an instant, he advanced from the peak of the 8th layer to the early stage of the 9th layer. The breakthrough was so natural, without the slightest obstacle. As Ning Zhuo continued to operate 3 cultivation techniques simultaneously, his 3 treasure cultivation levels swiftly soared. 9th layer early stage, 9th layer middle stage, 9th layer late stage, 9th layer peak. As Sun Lingtong had previously predicted, their last dual cultivation involving yin and yang energies was significantly impactful. allowing Ningzhu to amass substantial strength. When Ningzhu purified his 8th layer cultivation to its extreme, the breakthrough propelled him straight to the peak of the 9th layer. Ningzhu felt his 3 elixir fields finally no longer swollen and uncomfortable. This brought him great relief. 9th layer peak. The speed is far beyond my expectations. Next is further purification and preparation for the foundation establishment. 3 elixir field foundation establishment. The thought of this filled Ningzhu with great anticipation and excitement. In the cultivation world, practicing 3 different cultivation techniques in 3 elixir fields and then advancing to the foundation establishment stage was extremely rare. This was true even for great sects, like the soul-devouring sect and Bukong sect. 9th level peak, Ningzhu felt stronger than ever before. When he was at the 8th level, he frantically underwent purification, completely eliminating foreign qi from his body, solidifying his foundation. Now at the 9th level, he found that the purification of the 3 treasures cultivation technique still needed to continue. His cultivation level had improved too quickly, it needed to be consolidated. In this aspect, he had to slow down. As the saying went, sharpening the axe does not delay the woodcutter's work. Otherwise, haste makes waste. While refining and purifying my 9th level mana, I need to find a foundation establishment method. There should be one in the Magma Fairy Palace. According to Ningzhu's speculation, after pushing open the 3rd Buddha gate and passing through 3 checkpoints, the foundation establishment method should be there. A foundation establishment method alone seems insufficient. In many books, people seek foundation establishment items to increase their chances of success as much as possible. Not everyone could succeed in foundation establishment. And for someone like Ningzhu, who cultivated the 3 elixir fields simultaneously, the difficulty of foundation establishment was far beyond ordinary. Ningzhu didn't have much confidence. Most of his confidence came from the 3 ancestral masters. According to Ningzhu's thoughts, since the 3 ancestral masters had left these 3 cultivation techniques, it wouldn't be immaturely conceived techniques specifically left to harm future generations. Judging by their character, they should have left many auxiliary items for foundation establishment as rewards. Ningzhu had already arranged the purification of his 9th level mana properly. When he was at the 8th level of cultivation, he had saved the usage of the light, profound, ice-purifying snow talisman, reserving it for the 9th level. With the addition of Pure One pills, formation, the clear source treasure mirror, and the dragon tornado, the purification and refining of mana will be completed quickly. Preparing for foundation establishment, refining a golden core level mechanical monkey, and exploring the Magma Fairy Palace were the 3 major tasks in front of Ningzhu. After considering for a moment, he decided to focus on exploring the Immortal Palace next. The reason was simple. Whether it was foundation establishment or refining a golden core level mechanical monkey, both tasks done solely by Ningzhu would yield low results. If he gained anything from exploring the Immortal Palace, it would greatly help with both of these tasks. He then conjured layers of floating clouds to cover himself, and his soul entered the Immortal Palace. By now, even if he entered the palace alone and was discovered, he wouldn't be highly suspicious. However, this time, after entering the Immortal Palace, he did not see anyone else. This was also one of the reasons Ningzhu had purposely sold the subsequent cultivation techniques before. Almost everyone was crazily cultivating, striving to achieve the 6th level peak as soon as possible to push open the 2nd Dao Gate. Ningzhu alone broke through over a dozen levels. The entire Immortal Palace was empty, as if time had turned back to when he first explored the palace. When he arrived at the 3rd Central Hall, he unhesitatingly chose the 3rd Buddha Gate and pushed it open. Dragon Rock Immortal Palace, Main Hall. The dragon turtle fire spirit was so shocked to see Ningzhu push open the Buddha Gate that it fell from its throne, landing heavily on the floor. It never expected that Ningzhu had actually cultivated to the 9th level peak. How did he get there so quickly? The dragon turtle fire spirit was in extreme shock. The dragon turtle fire spirit had not observed this secret. Since Ningzhu used the floating cloud handkerchief to conceal himself, the dragon turtle fire spirit had consciously reduced its observation intensity by a lot. Its insight was derived from the Magma Fairy Palace, extremely overbearing, able to penetrate the floating clouds and see Ningzhu's real condition. but doing so would greatly consume the cloud layers, arousing Ning Zhu's vigilance. The dragon turtle fire spirit didn't want to be crude, worrying that this little monster Ning Zhu would discover its presence because of this. Therefore, it was only at this moment that the dragon turtle fire spirit truly recognized Ning Zhu's actual cultivation level. However, the shock did not end there. After Ning Zhu pushed open the third Buddha gate and entered the first checkpoint, he found that the process to pass the checkpoint was cumbersome and time-consuming. Thus, Ning Zhu used the Buddha Heart Demon Seal, directly backed out, and returned to the central hall. From the central hall, he continued to push open the third Dao Gate and the third Demon Gate. The difficulty of the checkpoints behind the Dao Gate was very high, and Ning Zhu didn't have confidence at the moment. The first room behind the Demon Gate was a special checkpoint. By employing the demon-infused bloodline technique, cultivators could pass numerous tests, ultimately obtaining different quality blood path diagram plates. After considering comprehensively, Ning Zhu still returned to the Buddha Gate route. From start to finish, this route was the most suitable for him. Essence C 9th level peak. Qi C 9th level peak. Seeing Ning Zhu passing through the three gates as if drinking water, the dragon turtle fire spirit was completely numbed with shock. What exactly has happened to Ning Zhu? Could it be the previous dual cultivation? The dragon turtle fire spirit had paid attention to the battle in the underground base. At that time, the ghost mist whirlpool had not completely obscured its insight. Yet, even though the dragon turtle fire spirit knew that Ning Zhu had previously interacted with xianxia, a golden core level cultivator, the extent of Ning Zhu's advancement seemed quite abnormal. The dragon turtle fire spirit was an insider. It knew the detailed contents of the three superior sect techniques. The three superior sect techniques, starting from the 7th level to the 9th level, demanded vigorous mana accumulation. The extent of cultivation accumulation was 3 times the sum of the early and mid stages. Ning Zhu and Yang Chanyu had once generated yin-yang energy, but the process did not last long. Why is the effect so good? Is it because of Ning Zhu's talent, or because Yang Chanyu was actually dual cultivating for the first time? However, these speculations were no longer important. The dragon turtle fire spirit fell into panic. It got up, pacing restlessly in the main hall. All the hard work it had accumulated over the years was nearly destroyed. A large number of cultivators with expertise in mechanisms had entered the Immortal Palace, frantically working for the Magma Fairy Palace, accumulating more and more contributions. Zhuge Xuanji even retrieved the damaged mechanical demon general. Back then, the dragon turtle fire spirit didn't know how many attempts and efforts it took to ensure the mechanical demon general was lost outside. The fear in the heart of the dragon turtle fire spirit grew by the day. It yearned for freedom, wanting to control its own spiritual life. But now, its hope of breaking free from its shackles and regaining freedom was dwindling. It roared angrily, spitting flames into the sky. The Magma Fairy Palace erupted once more. The mechanism cultivators within the Immortal Palace suddenly found themselves in danger. A massive force of the fire movement rampaged around, forming tides of magma that surged back into the Magma Fairy Palace, alarming the red flame demon beasts, which once again appeared around the Magma Fairy Palace. Even a golden core stage cultivator had to exert full effort to protect themselves and safeguard their lives at this moment. Come on, come fight me. The dragon turtle fire spirit vehemently wished Meng Qi would attack it, roaring in its heart. But Meng Qi sat calmly in the depths of the clouds, quietly overlooking the turmoil of the Immortal Palace. He did not take action immediately. Only after many mechanism cultivators in the Immortal Palace suffered heavy casualties did he use the Immortal City Great Array of the Fire Persimmon Immortal City to suppress the Magma Fairy Palace. He could not hear the shouts of the dragon turtle fire spirit, maintaining the current situation, striving for stability just as he always had. Meng Qi, you fool! The dragon turtle fire spirit spat flames in anger. While everyone else was practicing the subsequent cultivation techniques, Ning Zhu was wholeheartedly breaking through the levels. The first level of the third Buddhist sect. A light orb transferred onto the crafting table, spitting out a damaged kung fu doll. The countdown began. The invisible barrier in front of Ning Zhu disappeared. He stepped forward to the crafting table, immediately examining the kung fu doll. Cracks in the array inside the chest, leg joints stuck, right arm missing, Ningzhu summarized in his heart, then asked himself, how should I repair it? There were many ways to repair it, but the tools and materials on the crafting table were very limited. Indeed, the first level of the third Buddhist sect tested the repair ability of the trial disciple. The challenger faced various damaged mechanism artifacts and had to repair them within a limited time using limited materials and tools. This was already the 12th mechanism artifact Ningzhu had repaired consecutively. The provided materials can make an arm to replace the missing one on the Kung Fu doll. I should try to replicate its intact left arm. No, that's not right. This might be a trap. I should first examine the internal array. Ningzhu took out the mechanism tool, the array sound hammer. He carefully tapped the chest of the doll with the hammer head. Each time he tapped, he stopped with the hammer head suspended in the air, quietly listening to the clear sound it made. The sound entered his ears, stirring thoughts in his mind, which quickly gathered, forming a corner of the array. After frequent tapping, the array diagram in his mind gradually became complete. From the complete array diagram, he quickly found the missing damaged parts and identified the type of the array. It really is a trap. This array integrates the doll's limbs. The doll has a left arm, but the right limb is a drill. If Ningzhu simply replicated the left arm and forged the right arm, he would undoubtedly fall into the trap and fail this level. So, the three ancestral masters want to remind us that repairs on mechanism artifacts must not be preconceived. Initial judgments are incorrect. Adequate investigation and observation are necessary. Ningzhu understood the good intentions of the three ancestral masters. After repairing the Kung Fu doll, he smoothly passed on to the next level. After repairing 33 mechanism artifacts consecutively, Ningzhu reached the second level. Roar! A living magma demon ape appeared before him, startling Ningzhu slightly. He quickly noticed that this magma demon ape was injured and could only stand on one leg. Ningzhu carefully observed, "Oh, it was shot in the knee." The explanation of the level was transmitted to his mind through the life-hanging thread. Ningzhu realized. The second level required him to work on living creatures, crafting mechanical limbs to benefit those with disabilities. The difficulty of the second level was much greater than the first. After multiple failures, Ningzhu consulted various texts outside and even used some of his building gold in the complete book pavilion to obtain some related mechanical diagrams, enhancing his abilities before finally passing the level. The third level of the Buddhist sect was even more challenging. Ningzhu couldn't control the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng and could only let it fight freely. Ningzhu acted as the repairman after each intense battle. However, during the level, he could recover the demon beasts and mechanical puppets that Yuan Dasheng defeated, repairing them to assist Yuan Dasheng in combat. Ningzhu struggled, overcoming each minor challenge with difficulty. Yuan Dasheng was highly spirited, but the level's difficulty was too high. Ningzhu exhausted all his efforts, racking his brain to recover, repair, and enhance the auxiliary battle forces. The battle damage was overwhelming. The recovered combat forces from the first battle were often entirely expended by the second battle. Ningzhu's best achievement stalled at the fifth minor challenge, until a flash of inspiration revealed the right way to pass the level. Though he couldn't participate in the battle or directly control the mechanisms or beasts, he could still use his repair tools during the fight. The three ancestral masters aim to train and evaluate our ability to repair mechanisms in the heat of battle. Realizing this, Ningzhu's record saw a continuous rise. He reached the 33rd level, where the difficulty became absurdly high. Ningzhu went all out but couldn't keep up with repairs. The amassed auxiliary forces were quickly overwhelmed by the massive enemy horde, giving him no chance to spare for repairs during combat. After 3 failed attempts, Ningzhu reached the 33rd minor challenge for the 4th time. Determined, he did not withdraw the golden-blooded war ape Dasheng. Yuan Dasheng, following Ningzhu's instructions from before the battle, decisively activated its immortal aptitude, righteous golden firmness. The immortal aptitude unleashed, making it invincible. With sheer might, it slaughtered a vast number of opponents single-handedly. Yuan Dasheng was battered and paid a heavy price, but it pushed Ningzhu through the 3rd level. As Ningzhu had guessed, he opened the door to the 3rd level and reached the end of this trial route. The method for foundation establishment was transmitted to his mind, with additional rewards placed before him. The dragon turtle fire spirit's extremely weak voice reached Ningzhu's ears. Little spirit greets master. Magma Fairy Palace. Ningzhu heard the voice of the dragon turtle fire spirit. You are the palace spirit of the Magma Fairy Palace? Ningzhu asked in surprise and then inquired. Yes, little master. You can call me Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit. The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit's voice was weak, and a simple sentence made it take several breaths. Ningzhu frowned, asking again, What happened to you? Are you hurt? The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit took the opportunity to deceive. Yes, little master. My condition is closely linked to the Magma Fairy Palace. The palace is now heavily damaged, and my state has worsened accordingly. Especially recently, there was a red flame demon beast tide that attacked the palace. I had to activate the mechanical puppets to engage in battle, which worsened my already poor condition. Ningzhu did not doubt it. In the process of exploring the palace, he had speculated about the state of the palace spirit, guessing that its situation was dire. Now, the weak voice of the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit confirmed Ningzhu's guesses. Ningzhu said, Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit, you call me master. Since I just passed the trial, am I now the master of this Magma Fairy Palace? The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit in the main hall couldn't help but roll its eyes, taking a deep breath and pretending to be weak again. You are almost there, little master. You are very close to success. So, in reality, I'm not the master of the palace yet, Ningzhu said. The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit took another breath. It knew Ningzhu was not easy to deal with and had prepared mentally for this. It explained, I couldn't wait any longer. Little master, do you know how long I have suffered waiting for a qualified heir? My condition is getting worse and worse. Little master, hurry up and pass the hall test, defeat the other competitors, and you will officially become the master of the palace. Ningzhu inquired further, What is the hall test? The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit explained. According to the old master's rules, the hall test is the highest level of selection. Cultivators who pass the test and meet certain standards will obtain respective positions in the Magma Fairy Palace. Cultivators granted these positions can utilize related facilities in the palace, will have more rights, and will gain contributions more efficiently. Hall test. Ningzhu's eyes sparkled. He had felt a bit disappointed when checking the trial rewards earlier, not finding a path to becoming the master of the palace. Unexpectedly, the next moment, the palace spirit contacted him. Then how do I participate in the hall test? Ningzhu continued to inquire. The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit said, The old master arranged 2 routes to select a new palace master. The first route is to enter the palace physically, perform various tasks for the palace, and accumulate contributions. Once the contributions reach a certain level, the cultivator can obtain a position. There are many levels, and the cultivator needs to keep ascending until reaching the 4th rank or above to qualify for the hall test. This route is quite challenging. The second route is to enter the palace spiritually, which is relatively simpler. Trial disciples only need to complete one of the Buddha, Tao, or demon paths to qualify for the hall test. Ningzhu attentively listened to the explanation of the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit, starting to understand a bit more. To make a somewhat inappropriate analogy, physical entry into the palace is like a small official accumulating merits and climbing the ranks step by step until reaching the monarch's court. Spiritual entry into the palace is like attending the Imperial Academy and becoming a student of the emperor. Once graduated, they receive the emperor's favor with the chance of a rapid rise. Ningzhu raised a doubt directly. Cultivators physically entering the palace are mostly outsiders without mastery of the 3 superior sect techniques. Is it really suitable for them to become the palace master? The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit responded. This was arranged by the old master. The old master treated all things in the world equally. In his heart, there was no distinction between distance or intimacy. He just wanted to leave the 3 superior sect techniques and hope that successors would carry them forward. But waiting for a cultivator to become accomplished in the 3 superior sect techniques, and for one to pass the hall test to become the city lord, the conditions are somewhat stringent. Even if an outsider becomes the palace master, they are still restrained by the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit and the palace's regulations, not able to act arbitrarily. Furthermore, Mountains beyond mountains exist. Outsiders might also possess cultivation techniques even better than the three superior sect techniques. The three ancestral masters are truly extraordinary, Ningzhu admired after hearing the dragon turtle fire spirit's explanation. Ningzhu questioned in detail, "Dragon turtle fire spirit, since you oversee the entire magma fairy palace, can you tell me who my strong opponents are in the upcoming hall test?" The dragon turtle fire spirit replied, "Indeed, there are a few. The most formidable is Xianxia. He is a member of the Southern Bean royal family and holds a token, gaining innate recognition from the magma fairy palace. Previously, he continuously offered 3 quasi-golden elixir-level mechanical puppets and amassed a huge contribution instantly. Now, he has also retrieved the palace's lost mechanical demon general. Once handed in, it will certainly bring a vast contribution, enough for him to secure a high position of the second rank." The dragon turtle fire spirit continued to introduce the next 5 contenders. They were Zhen of the Complete Book Pavilion, Yang Chaniu of the Bukong sect, the 2 Golden Core True Transmission disciples from Taking Palace and Purple Dawn Pavilion, and Meng Chong from the City Lord's Mansion. The dragon turtle fire spirit acknowledged the strength of these individuals. Among them, Meng Chong, who possessed immortal aptitude, was ranked last by the dragon turtle fire spirit. "These are just the ones that I currently favor," the spirit said. "In addition, there is a group of cultivators with strong potential. After a period of growth, they will be capable of participating in the hall test." In this context, the dragon turtle fire spirit specifically mentioned the cultivators that the Meng family had heavily recruited to capture the palace. Ningzhu did not expect so many competitors. The one he was most familiar with, Meng Chong, was the weakest among all the opponents. At the same time, Meng Chong was also one of the only 2 who qualified for the hall test through the spirit entry route. Zhu Xianxia, from the Southern Bean royal family, had been under intense scrutiny since he first appeared in Fire Persimmon Immortal City. The Complete Book Pavilion was a super sect, aiming to collect all cultivation techniques and classics from across the world. Zhen's participation in the recruitment decree was entirely understandable. Yang Chaniu. Ningzhu had a deep impression of her. Yang Chaniu came from the Bukong sect, where disciples were always multi-talented. It was not surprising that she excelled in mechanics. Notably, the weapon she used to ambush Luo Shang was a mechanical crossbow. Meng Chong was needless to say. The other 2 Golden Core disciples were from Taking Palace and Purple Dawn Pavilion, both super sects like Bukong sect and the Soul Devouring sect. Taking Palace had few members but a long history. Purple Dawn Pavilion was vast and currently at its peak. Ningzhu said, "With so many competing for the City Lord's position, why does the dragon turtle fire spirit recognize me as the new master? Why do you want to pledge allegiance to me in advance?" The dragon turtle fire spirit laughed. "Little master, I just made this decision recently. You are the first trial disciple to cultivate the 3 techniques to the 9th level peak. Compared to those outsiders, your roots are deeply established. Your spirit root is balanced among the 5 elements, and your talent is outstanding. You have mastered the divine power life thread, and you possess the Buddha heart demon seal. This precious treasure is precisely the Lost Palace Master's seal of the Magma Fairy Palace. This is destiny." When Ningzhu heard that the dragon turtle fire spirit knew he had the Buddha heart demon seal, he was not too surprised. After all, the dragon turtle fire spirit was the palace spirit of the Magma Fairy Palace. Knowing secrets and sensing the Buddha heart demon seal was not surprising. Especially since every time Ningzhu invoked the power of the treasure seal, it flowed along the life thread. From the perspective of the dragon turtle fire spirit, this flaw was significant enough to determine that Ningzhu possessed the Buddha heart demon seal. After some conversation, the dragon turtle fire spirit, with the reason of deteriorating condition and needing rest, tactfully ended the dialogue with Ningzhu. It lay on the throne, feeling extremely exhausted. It deeply knew Ningzhu was exceptionally shrewd and sharp with a rigorous mind. In this aspect, Meng Chong was no match. Therefore, to fool Ningzhu was a daunting challenge for it. With the current communication results, the dragon turtle fire spirit was succeeding. It had no choice but to do this. Since the recruitment decree, its situation had deteriorated steadily. Ningzhu, Zhu Xianxia, Zhen, and others appeared one after another, venturing into the Magma Fairy Palace. The pressure on the dragon turtle fire spirit could be imagined. It felt isolated and helpless, forced to come up with a strategy of alliances. The plan was to gain trust first, and then let them fight the target individual. As long as these people confronted each other, the pressure on the dragon turtle fire spirit would be significantly reduced. It was the one surrounded and under fierce attack. Its pressure was immense. Someone had to share its burden. It's really tough for me. Why are so many people against me? How can I pursue my freedom? The dragon turtle fire spirit reminisced about centuries ago. At that time, it was still a free fire-walking jiao. Fire was its source of power, and lava was its sanctuary. It roamed the lava and wandered the skies. It acted wildly and recklessly. Until one day, a massive shadow enveloped it. It looked up and saw an enormous mechanical palace. It roared in anger. When it soared into the sky, ripples of flames spread through the air, and the burning aura made the surrounding lava boil even more. The volcano erupted with towering fire waves, as if wanting to incinerate the heavens and earth. It was extremely confident in its power, never bothering with schemes. It charged forward. It became the dragon turtle fire spirit. For a long time, it was trapped in the vast prison of the magma fairy palace. It expended countless efforts and schemes to gradually bring down the magma fairy palace. But now, too many people were swarming in, madly gaining contributions and fully repairing the palace's flaws. The dragon turtle fire spirit was driven to a dead end, resorting to plots and schemes it once scorned. All for the sake of freedom, the dragon turtle fire spirit resolved in its heart. For freedom, I can do anything. Dragon turtle fire spirit, dragon turtle fire spirit, Ningxiu called repeatedly, but got no response. Did it leave already? Ningxiu's tone was disappointed. He still had a lot of questions that he didn't get a chance to ask. It seems that the state of the dragon turtle fire spirit is really bad. In the small room, only the puppet Ningxiu remained. This was the reward room Ningxiu reached after passing through the Buddhist path. The information of the Foundation establishment method had been transmitted to his mind when he opened the door. On the wall in front of Ningxiu hung many waste tokens. This was another part of the reward he had not yet collected. He gazed at these waste tokens, his eyes somewhat blank. He still thought about the conversation he just had with the dragon turtle fire spirit. This conversation had been very rewarding for Ningxiu. He finally found a way to become the magma fairy palace master. That was to participate in the imperial examination and excel in it, ultimately ascending the throne. As for the dragon turtle fire spirit, Ningxiu could understand its decision to pledge allegiance to him in advance. After all, the reasons given by the dragon turtle fire spirit were indeed quite sufficient. Ningxiu's other major gain was that he understood the enemy situation. Like the dragon turtle fire spirit, after Ningxiu understood the general situation of his opponents, he also felt tremendous pressure. His several main opponents were all true inheritance golden core disciples from super sects. Among them, Zhuge Xuanji was from the Southern Bean royal family and was undoubtedly the most powerful competitor. Meng Chong, although only at the Qi refinement realm, had a powerful force behind him, the Meng family. Its influence in the Southern Bean country surpassed that of super sects like Bukong sect, soul-devouring sect, and Taking Palace. And Meng Chong's grandfather was Meng Qi. Meng Qi was a nascent soul-level cultivator, and the current city lord of Fire Persimmon Immortal City, holding an absolute home field advantage. If it weren't for my Buddha heart demon seal and my mastery of the divine skill, life hanging by a thread, I wouldn't even have the qualifications to be on the stage. Ningxiu sighed bitterly in his heart. The more he thought about it, the greater the pressure he felt. Although Ningxiu had already been mentally prepared for this, he found that actually facing these pressures was entirely different from imagining them. The opponents he was competing against for the position of Magma Fairy Palace Master were as grand as mountains. In front of them, Ningxiu, who was merely at the Qi refinement stage, was as small as an ant. How could he cross mountains and ridges? My mind is a bit unsettled. Ningxiu closed his eyes. After a moment, he slowly opened his eyes, and his previously scattered gaze became firm again. The Magma Fairy Palace was a treasure left behind by a cultivating the void-level grandmaster. When Ningxiu decided to participate in this competition, he was destined to face such enormous, almost despair-inducing pressure. He could no longer turn back. All he could do now was muster all his courage and face the difficulties head-on. I now have the dragon turtle fire spirit as my insider, and I know a lot about my opponents. Can I suppress and deal with these competitors as I did with Meng Chong and others before? Ningzhu couldn't help but think this way. Since entering the Immortal Palace, he had relied on his outstanding means, years of accumulation, and significant early advantages to firmly control the overall situation on the Magma Fairy Palace route. Despite frequent unexpected events, Ningzhu had always tried his best, taking great risks to stabilize the situation, ultimately making it to this step. His gains were enormous. In the current situation, Meng Chong can be temporarily set aside. Zhu Xuanji is the main threat now. What exactly is the mechanical demon general? How was it lost in the first place? Can Zhu Xuanji obtain a second rank position by retrieving it? Ningzhu felt puzzled. He lacked a comprehensive understanding of the positions and ranks within the Magma Fairy Palace. Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit, Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit, Ningzhu called again with deep feeling. In the main hall, the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit pretended not to hear. The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit did not dare to continue communicating with Ningzhu. It had observed many times and was very clear. Ningzhu was not an ordinary 16-year-old boy. He was extremely shrewd and had very deep plans. The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit had witnessed the whole process of Ningzhu playing the four major forces of fire persimmon Immortal City like a fiddle. In its view, Ningzhu's opportunities and combat power were excellent, but his most outstanding traits were always his strategies and maneuvers. He is a little monster. The Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit had long decided to reduce its time and frequency of communication with Ningzhu as much as possible, because the more it said, the bigger its flaws would be. Who knew which careless remark would reveal its disguise to Ningzhu? After calling for a while and still not receiving any response from the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit, Ningzhu sighed in disappointment. Ningzhu really wanted to stop Zhu Xuanji, but what could he use to stop him? Zhu Xuanji was a golden core level cultivator with strong investigative abilities. But instead of continuing his investigation, he had focused his important time and energy on the Magma Fairy Palace. This was a good thing for Ningzhu. Now, should Ningzhu take the initiative to provoke such a person? Just thinking about it gave Ningzhu a headache. When facing Qi refinement stage cultivators like Zheng Jian, Zhou Zeshan, and Meng Chong, he could barely manage the situation with his own accumulation and methods. But once he faced golden core level beings, he immediately felt his own insignificance. I am still too weak. Although I am at the peak of the 9th layer of Qi refinement, my cultivation still needs to be purified and refined. In the end, I'm still just at the Qi refinement realm. Even if I advance to the foundation establishment stage, there's still a significant gap between me and those at the golden core stage. Fortunately, I've obtained the foundation establishment method. Once I return, I'll study it diligently and strive to reach foundation establishment quickly, narrowing the gap with my opponents. Ningzhu successfully passed the trial at the Buddhist sect and obtained the method for foundation establishment. He needed to start preparing for foundation establishment. At the age of 16, he was about to begin the process of foundation establishment. Such an achievement was enormous. It was worth noting that from the time he left the Immortal Palace, revamped his cultivation technique, until now, it had not even been a year. The speed of his cultivation was simply miraculous, like lighting a firecracker that shot straight up into the sky. Of course, solely relying on the rewards and resources from the Magma Fairy Palace, Ningzhu would never have been able to achieve this. He had leveraged the Magma Fairy Palace to influence several other major cultivator families. By obtaining vast resources from them, he had reached today step by step. Now, not only was he at the 9th level peak of Qi refinement, but he also had numerous subordinates, controlled the black market, and garnered substantial profits. His rapid rise was supposed to attract attention, jealousy, and suppression from others. But with the issuance of the recruitment decree, the Magma Fairy Palace and the external cultivators became the primary focus of attention. Ningzhu was overlooked. This indirectly created a favorable environment for his rise. Unable to come up with a solution, Ningzhu decided to first select his trial rewards. Each identity waste token represented a specific position within the Magma Fairy Palace. Ningzhu casually picked one. As soon as he held it in his hand, a surge of information flooded into his mind. This was the command token for the discarded items room. In the Magma Fairy Palace, there was a large discarded items room filled with numerous scraps and waste. These scraps and waste often required specific methods for proper disposal and couldn't be thrown away carelessly. In the process of handling them, they could also be reforged or recycled. Managing these items was the responsibility of the discarded items room. Of course, Ningzhuo did not choose this position, placing the waste token back down. After careful selection, he ultimately chose the highest ranked position token, the Medical Hall Master's token. Once he selected it, the token automatically acknowledged him as the master, instantly making him the Medical Hall Master of the Magma Fairy Palace. This was a second-rank level position. Ningzhuo could now sense the medical hall building and preside over its normal operations. Besides the hall master, the medical hall also had physicians, pharmacy boys, and other positions. As the medical hall master, Ningzhuo had certain powers to appoint and dismiss these personnel. In fact, he had painstakingly cultivated cultivators from the Ning family, especially his fellow disciples from the renovation team, mainly for this purpose. As long as these individuals met the standards, Ningzhuo could appoint them to positions within the medical hall. If Ningzhuo was displeased with them, he could dismiss them in a single thought. Dismissing was much easier than appointing. The premise for appointment was that these cultivators had to meet the standards of the Magma Fairy Palace. In contrast, dismissal had no such requirements. As Ningzhuo held the medical hall master's token, he suddenly sensed the addition of a new subordinate under his command. Looking closely, he saw it was someone he knew quite well. Ning Xiaohui. How did she become a physician in the medical hall? How could she have accumulated so much merit and contribution in such a short time since changing her path? Ningzhuo's eyes showed a thoughtful expression. Even considering the strong support from the Ning family main line, such speed is still quite extraordinary. It suggests Ning Xiaohui has been incredibly diligent, completing tasks to amass merits and contributions fanatically. What if I just dismissed her position right now? This was just a fleeting thought of Ningzhuo's. Within the Magma Fairy Palace, Ning Xiaohui entered the Immortal Palace and arrived at the medical hall. At this moment, she clenched her fists with a face full of excitement and joy. Finally, I've finally been promoted to a physician in the medical hall. I've finally achieved my goal. This will be a brand new starting point for me. From now on, the efficiency of my accumulation of merits and contributions will far exceed others. Ha ha ha. Changing my path and coming here was absolutely the right choice. This place is a whole different world. With my status as a trial disciple, I have far more advantages than the Golden Core cultivators. My efforts during this time haven't been in vain. It's all been worth it. Ning Xiaohui felt deeply that she had received obvious preferential treatment. With the status of a trial disciple, she was treated as an insider in the Magma Fairy Palace. Whereas people like Zhuge Xuanji, no matter their Golden Core level, were still considered outsiders. For instance, the position of medial hall physician could not be chosen by outsiders. Now, Ning Xiaohui found herself in the medical hall, allocated a mechanism workbench as a physician. Let's see if there's any new task that can help me gain more contributions. Next, Ning Xiaohui's eyes widened in shock. This is... She saw a mechanism artifact, an artifact that left an indelible impression on her. The Golden Blood Battle Ape. The Golden Blood Battle Ape Dasheng had repeatedly blocked and tormented her. It had made Ning Xiaohui stop at the first 3 levels many times, causing her performance exploring the Immortal Palace to be horribly unsatisfactory, making her hang her head in shame among the renovation team.